Hey guys, welcome to Gary in the Kitchen. Won't you join me today? We're going to make a wonderful fall soup. Fall is in the air, so let's get it started. Hey guys, welcome to Gary in the Kitchen. I'm Gary. If this is your first time visiting us, thanks for joining us. Be sure to hit that like button and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We're glad to have you along for our adventures. So, let me tell you what we're going to make. We're going to make my version of white chicken lasagna soup. Okay? Fall is in the air. Even here in Central Florida, we've had some cooler nights and it's been 80 degrees, so that's a little bit cooler for us. So we're enjoying that. So it kind of has put me in the mood for soup. So let me tell you the ingredients that we have. I have 4 medium garlic cloves. I have enough baby carrots to chop to make about a cup. I have yellow onion, just plain yellow onion. I have about a cup of that. Of course, salt and pepper. I have lasagna noodles. I have Italian mix of Parmesan cheeses. It's got Romano, Asiago, provolone, and some mozzarella in there, and it's already shredded, so that's good. Got oregano, Italian seasoning, red pepper flakes, chicken broth, some half and half for cream, 2 chicken breasts, 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I'm going to roast. I want to roast the chicken to put in the soup. It will give it such an added flavor. Also, I have 4 ounces of spinach that I'm going to chop to go into the soup as well. So these are our basic ingredients. Also, I got some white wine here. We'll use a couple splashes of that to deglaze the pan. Here is a disclaimer. If you're a recovering alcoholic, if you have small children that you think a couple of splashes of white wine will affect, or you think that you will go to hell because you used white wine in your food, do not use it. That's the disclaimer. Thank you very much. So we're going to get started. We're going to roast the chicken first, and we'll be back with you guys in just a moment. Hey guys, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil to a heated Dutch oven so we can translate our onions and carrots and get them kind of soft and get them vagrant, and our garlic. One thing that I forgot to mention to you earlier that I'm going to use is I got 2 tablespoons of flour for a thickener that I'm going to add to the vegetables. Okay. I am going to attempt, I've told you guys before, I'm just one that don't measure. So I'm going to attempt to measure my herbs and spices for you today, okay? Bear with me if it's boring. Go back to, your pinches, So we got 2 tablespoons of olive oil there. And here are the carrots that I chopped up and the onions that I chopped up. So I'm going to add them to the pot, get them going. Alrighty, give them a stir. Okay. Alright, to this I am going to add my seasonings, okay? So let's do 1 tablespoon of oregano. Let's see how that looks. So I got 1 tablespoon of oregano. That actually looks pretty good. going to do 1.5 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. Okay. That's 1. Half. Okay. Measure my oil with this spoon, so I got herbs in the bottom of my spoon. Break those out. Okay. So let's give this a quick stir. Okay, to that I'm going to add a pinch. If you want to do a pinch, or 1/8 of a teaspoon, which is half of a quarter. Kind of like that of hot pepper flakes. Now if you want to give it a little kick, like I do, add the whole 1/4 teaspoon, okay? And that way it gives it just a more of a heated flavor without it being like hot and spicy. Okay, so we're going to let these cook down and get translucent. Okay, so now we'll go over to the chicken where it's cooling because it's come out of the oven. I'll tell you how I made that, okay? So it's 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Just washed them and cleaned some of the fat off of them. Coated them with olive oil. Just sprinkle with just salt and pepper. Just sprinkle with salt and pepper. Then put them in a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes. When they cool down, I'll chop them up to go in the soup. And then I'll actually deglaze this pan as well, so we get these flavors in the soup. Okay? There's always something good to do. You know, deglazing your pans. I used to think, oh my God, I'm just like burning everything that I cook in a pot. You know, when it comes to sauteing or browning or something like that, with everything, you know, the bottom of the pan basically getting black. And then I learned by watching and listening and experimenting on my own, that's where flavor is. Talk about Flavor Town. Go to the bottom of a Dutch oven. Oh gosh. But guys, this smells so good with the herbs and the onions.
Right now it smells like Thanksgiving.
It smells like what?
Thanksgiving.
Oh.
With the carrots and the onions and the herbs.
So my lasagna noodles, I just broke them up into pieces. And then go in the soup, and they will actually cook in the soup. I didn't pre-cook these. These will actually cook in the soup. So you may want to watch your liquid level, depending on how much liquid you want in your soup. I like having a lot of liquid in my soup. I like having juice, if you will. So you may want to keep you some extra chicken broth handy. And that way, if you need some more liquid because your noodles absorb too much for you, then you have it too. But we're going to start out with 2 cups of chicken broth, okay? You know, I only put like that pinch of hot pepper flakes is because when I like spicy, like spicy food, but I like the hot spice for more of a flavor than a heat to make me sweat or burn my tongue or scorch my throat or make me want to run around naked or something, you know. But I like it just more for the flavor versus the punch of something hot and spicy, if you will. I know most people are different. They like that punch. They want to run around naked because it's so hot, you know. Alright, so let's add our garlic. This was 4 medium-sized garlic cloves that I minced. Stir that around. Let that cook for a little bit. Alright, and this is the 4 ounces of spinach that I showed you earlier that was in the bowl. I kind of just roughly chopped it, and you know it's going to cook down anyways, so it's not going to feel like it's a whole lot. It's not going to end up being a whole lot. But I like spinach. Spinach is really good. Spinach is like a good Italian food thing. And then I have about a cup of the shredded Parmesan cheese that I'm going to put in. And I have a cup of half and half. You can use milk. You can use heavy cream if you want, if you don't spill it all out. Or you can just forego it altogether if you want. It's just your matter of taste. I like my soups to have a little bit of creaminess to it. Not a heavy cream, but you know, where it's super thick. It's not like the, you know, my soup, you know, like you're tasting coffee or wine or something, you know, at a taste test.
All the garlic down.
So now I'm going to sprinkle on. I'm going to sprinkle on the flour. If you don't want to use flour, you can actually take a little bit of liquid and dissolve you some cornstarch in it and add it to it so when you get your liquids added in. And then that'll help thicken your juice as well. I would say 1 for 1. A tablespoon of liquid, tablespoon of cornstarch. So 3 for 3, if you will. That'll probably be a good one.
Would cornstarch change the taste?
No, it's just a thickener
Okay.
to liquids. With a lot of people, it's starchy, but it's less in calories, I guess you could say. I'm not sure. I'm not a dietitian. Than say flour. Now here comes my good old faithful wooden flat-ended spoon to do the scraping of the bottom of the pan. And it's just about time to deglaze it. You see it's getting all the brown spots on, all the brown on the bottom. And that's why we're gonna deglaze with, you know, a few splashes of wine. Again, like I said earlier, if you're a recovering alcoholic, or you think your children will suffer from it, or you go to hell over using it, don't use it at all, okay? But it adds really, really great flavor, brightness, and freshness to your soup. And I don't use a lot. It's probably more like a quarter or a third of a cup that I use. And it just evaporates. Yeah, that's the little point where I use it. I just take it and I just scrub the bottom, and it will bring up the brown on the bottom. And, no, I got chicken broth. It's fixing to go in right now. Okay. See, I'm gonna need some more white wine, not white wine, chicken broth. Go ahead and mix me up some more chicken broth, because I put the 2 cups in there, and it's a little low. Alright, to this now I'm going to add some salt and pepper. So you want to keep stirring to make sure you get your flour and your liquids combined in there really good. You want to bring it to a simmer. So even after you add your backup chicken broth, if you still feel like you need some liquid, add just some water or add just some more chicken broth. Or you could add just some more cream, whichever you prefer, you know. It's starting to simmer and the flour helped it thicken up a little bit. So we still got the other liquids to add to it. Before I add my cream and cheese to it, I'm going to put my noodles in, let my noodles soften up. There we go.
So it ended up being 4 cups.
It's 4 cups of chicken broth so far, yes. Oh, this, I guess you could tell by listening, this is the first time I've made this, so we're learning as we go along. It's just, you know, I've heard people talk about it, and I saw a couple videos on it, and it always looked really good. But this is my version of making it, you know. Bring it to a simmer. Okay, so we got the soup, the liquid to a boil. We're going to add our pasta. To it. And I'm gonna let it cook for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, and then we'll let them all simmer down. Have some good soup for dinner tonight. Top it with some croutons and Parmesan cheese. Gonna be delicious.
Yum yum.
Let's see you guys soon. Hey guys, welcome back to the kitchen. Again, I'm Gary. To the soup, we've added the pasta. It's been cooking about 10 minutes, so it's softened. And I went ahead and I added a cup of cream. As you can see, it's kind of become white, like that. Now to that, I'm going to add my cheese, my shredded cheese. I'm going to add a little bit and stir. Now, I guess as far as your cheese, you know, you can add as much as you want or as little as you want. You know, it's your pot, it's your stew, it's your soup. You know, make it like you want. It's just to give you guys some ideas of what you can do or how to make it if you don't really know how to make it or haven't made it. But y'all learn how to cook this one right along with me, because this is the first time I've ever made it. We all kind of hit and miss in here. Okay. So I've added the cream and I've added the shredded cheese. I'm going to bring it back to a little simmer, let it simmer for a few minutes. And then we'll add the spinach. Let the spinach simmer for a few minutes, and then we'll add the chicken. Let it simmer for a few minutes, and then it'll be ready to eat. Hey guys, so now we're going to add the chicken and the spinach to the soup. So you can see I just rough chopped it. Probably got even some minced pieces in here, but I'm just going to add it to the soup. Also, if you use an enamel Dutch oven, cast iron Dutch oven like this, never, ever, ever, for anything, cook on a high temperature. Today, the soup, I have numbers on my burners. Today, it's only been between 3 and 5 for most everything. Even the sauteing of the vegetables. You don't want your things to scorch and burn, and then you don't want to ruin your pot either by cooking on excessive heat. About the only time I go over a medium heat to a medium high heat is if I like fried chicken, and I rarely do that as much as I love it. I'd rather somebody else cook it and clean the mess up than me cook it and clean the mess up. But I have done it, and I only use a medium high heat to fry chicken, so I've never really used, as far as I know, I've never used the high heat on any of my Dutch ovens. All of my collection, I don't think I've ever used a high heat. So we're going to add the spinach now that we chopped up. Got a green vegetable there. I was thinking about putting green peas in here, but it seems like I use green peas a lot, so I wanted to do something different. So I'm like, oh, let's do spinach, because there's some Italian recipes that have spinach in it, you know. Spinach in, we'll let it cook down, and let the chicken that I just added cook down, and bring it to a simmer, and everything, get it all mixed up together. We'll take a bit of a stir to get all that spinach spread out, you know. Also, when you're cooking a soup that has cheese and cream in it and pasta, always watch the bottom. Make sure things aren't sticking to the bottom. So when you stir it, always make sure you give your bottom of your pot a good scratch to get everything out. And that's where this comes in handy. It's just a wooden flat edge spoon, and I use it to scratch. That way it doesn't damage my enamel, and I can keep things from sticking to the pot. That's why also cooking on a lower temperature is good too. It helps keep things from sticking. I mean, things are going to stick. That's when the wooden spoon comes in, but the lower temp helps keeping it from like sticking too badly and, you know, ruining your dish or your meal or the pot itself, you know. So we're gonna let it. I'm gonna drop the temperature down on it, and then I'm gonna put the lid on it. I'm gonna let it low simmer for a few minutes, and then all the flavors merge, and then we'll come back and taste it. So if we need to add any salt and pepper. How's that sound? See you in a few. Hey guys, welcome back. So the soup has been simmering for a little bit, and that's what it looks like. So let's give it a stir. So now it's like, well, got a little bitty sticker going on. Drop my spoon. Yeah, pasta likes to stick. When you leave it alone for a few minutes, it's gonna have a tendency to stick. But okay, but there you go. So soup is what's happening for dinner. We'll plate it up and share it with you in a little bit. Hey guys, we're back. We have bowled up our soup, and I've added a little Parmesan and some croutons to the top of it instead of crackers or bread. Mm-hmm. So let's give it a taste and see what it tastes like.
Yum.
Oh guys, that's really good.
Really good. Yummy.
It's really good. It's really creamy. Feels good going down. Mm-hmm. So if you guys are experiencing much cooler weather, a chilly night, that make you feel good.
Oh yeah.
It's really so good, guys. So I hope you give it a try.
A really good flavor. I love it.
Oh yeah, the croutons add a little bit of flavor too because they're seasoned croutons. That's really, really good. So if you try it, tell us you like it or whether you don't like it or you have a different variation of it. Let us know. I mean, as far as your chicken go and you want to make your own broth, you can boil your chicken in water with some onion and carrots and garlic and make your own broth. Or you can roast it in the oven like I did, or you can grill it, or you can buy your rotisserie chicken, whichever you know. There's so many options, you know, it's just whichever one you prefer to use. And just make it. That's all I know to do. Don't be intimidated by the stove or the pot or how to make something if you're just starting out cooking. I mean, you live and you learn, so it's a good way to get started. But again, I hope you subscribe to our channel. Yes. Give us a thumbs up. Tell us you like us. And if you have any ideas, like I've always said, we're getting now where we're able to do more of Gary in the kitchen. I've really missed it, guys. I have really missed you guys. Really missed being in the kitchen. But that was a big move in replacing everything in the kitchen. Yeah. I mean, down to the butter knife almost.
Almost. Yeah.
So it's good to be back, and this was something quick, something simple, something that don't take a whole lot of time. Easy weeknight dinner, potluck, you know.
All kinds of things.
But yeah, so join us if you haven't joined us. Subscribe to our channel, Adventures with G Squared. We're still having a lot of ideas come up. We did the Winter Wonderland mini golf last week. It was a lot of fun. Be sure and watch that and give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Tell your family about us. We're just a couple goofy guys that like to have fun. So, anyways, join me next time in the kitchen, won't you? I'm Gary. God bless you. Have a great week.
I'm Greg. So long, everybody.
Bye bye now.
Bye bye.